Looking for a way to connect in the sports world during these unprecedented times? Or you wanted to showcase your talent? Then sign up for a free account at www.watchmylights.com. My Lights is a social media sports platform that provides all users with a free way to communicate and share sports highlight videos with anyone around the world. So whether you're a coach and want to easily recruit for your players, an athlete and want to showcase yourself, a parent, grandparent, or sports enthusiast, My Lights has you covered. Users can create a free account to share highlight videos, chat, post, and follow other users. My Lights is the new free social media sports platform the sports world has been waiting for. So go to www.watchmylights.com and get started now.
Okay. What up? Hey man, special shout out, man, to everybody for tuning in tonight, man. I know it's not our normal night, but you know, it's a get it off your chest Tuesday, as we say. And it's time for some real conversation. So if you guys follow our brother Cam Dailey on Twitter, you know, he has some things he want to get off his chest, as well as there's a lot of conversation probably just need to happen across the board as far as it pertains to the game of basketball, high school basketball specifically, man. So we're just gonna jump into it. Tat, you doing good?
Oh yeah, good.
Charles, you good?
Oh yeah, man.
Feeling Cam, you good?
I'm wonderful, man.
Let's go. Let's go. Get it off your chest, Cam.
Well, what I really want to talk about, man, is us once again. And I always go to the adults first because, you know, you can't blame the kid, man. Right. Once, twice, three times, it's normally somebody who's leading them in the wrong direction. And I was talking to a couple other coaches, you know, down in Florida. I was just down there, and we were just talking about, man, what goes on in these car rides, these dinner tables, these other gyms, these phone calls, these DMs through Twitter, Instagram by other people. Man, what y'all gotta understand is, man, a lot of these people trying to jump on your coattail, or they trying to find a way for them to get something from you. And, you know, I'm just even talking about a high school basketball coach here, and your son or daughter is in their program, and you sitting behind the stands, or you driving in the car telling your son or daughter, like, the coach sucks, it's terrible, your teammates terrible. Man, you building cancer inside that kid. Right. Man, if you really break down the numbers to what a high school coach get paid, man, it's like 87 cents a day. And you ain't doing it. So why have these talks? Like, you can't, you know, like doing your research and you're sending the kid to a school, and there must be a reason why you send them to that high school, because a lot of kids ain't in their districts anyway. They just go into a school they think is sexy. So it must have been something you like. Right. But it's always in any sport, like Black said it a while ago, in basketball, it's the 4 kids and you want your kid playing. No matter how good or terrible your kid is, if the 4 kids and your kid playing, everything is wonderful. Yeah. But when your kid ain't playing, you got a lot to say. And it's like you ain't giving a chance for these programs, or like these coaches, or these trainers, or these AAU guys. Like a lot of these people are putting their time and love for the sport into it. And we got so many haters out here. It's ridiculous, man.
Let me ask you a question, bro. Like, so we know June just ended, right? Is any of this coming from that, right? Based on kind of like we talked about before, parents or spectators or whoever are wondering why coaches are doing X, Y, and Z, and they're not playing their kid, and their substitutions and all those things, when all they're really trying to do is get a feel for what they got, look at some different stuff, because it don't hurt nobody because records aren't kept. Is some of that, you know, conversation and DMing and all that type of stuff coming from June?
Man, I'm seeing parents walk up to coaches in summer league games and stuff like that, like trying to have a conversation with them out back about their kids, or like talking about other kids in the program to your kid. Like, why are they playing? Like certain kids in every program are going to be coached differently, 1 through 12. Right. You can't be the 12th man talking about why I can't do what the number 1 man does. It just don't work. Like, you might not be doing what the number 1 dude doing, or he might be part of the reason why I'm winning. Fight to get his spot, but don't be sitting back there talking about, well, you know, Charles get to shoot all the balls, and sometimes he don't get back, but my son shoot it, you take him out right away. Well, he may have a leash for Charles, and then he understand what he needs to do here and there, but your son or daughter ain't got that same leash.
Cam, I be trying to tell these jokers that, bro, I'm different. Give me the ball. I be trying to tell them, they don't listen to me though.
I feel it.
And no co-sign that, kid.
Oh, my bad. It's a lot of them conversations though that go on that is killing this game, and it starts with the adults. Like I always say, man, with anything, man, like you saying you want a kid to do this, to do that, but who showed them how to do it? Who's leading them in the right direction? These kids jumping ship all over the place. Sometimes these kids don't want to jump ship.
Right.
Who would be? It'd be the parent.
Yeah.
Like we don't like this program.
It's a lot of kids out there too, Cam, that don't really want to compete either, and their parents are backing them on it. I mean, I've heard numerous of times kids say, "Oh, I don't want to go to that school because there's so many good players over there, and I don't want to be in that school," or that lets you know you don't want to compete, and the parents back the kids on that.
Yeah.
Well, hey man, listen, man.
That ain't good for the game at all.
No, but I recently heard through the grapevine, a parent wanted to send their kid to a school that's not really good, so their kid could start as a 9th grader and be on varsity all 4 years.
Right. Don't matter the record. Don't matter. They college coaches are there or the coaches are getting these kids in school. They just want their kids to play for 4 years, and that's that.
But look, check this out though. I mean, I like it. Like, how many of y'all really think you're gonna be the man when you go somewhere? Like, how many? If we look at past the top 25 kids, top 50 kids in America, how many of y'all are really going? If you might have averaged 18 at your high school, how many of y'all going to that next college and averaging 18?
Right.
Like 1% maybe.
Yeah.
But it's once again the conversations, because everybody want their kid to be the man.
Yeah.
They don't want to compete. They don't want to learn. Like, man, and we wonder why these kids jump from school to school to school and transfer and everything like this, man, because they were never held accountable anywhere.
Coach
And it's
Black.
like, I tell people all the time, like, you ain't got to train with me. Whoever you train with, give that trainer a year or 6 months. Let them mold this kid, because you just can't say I don't like this and it ain't this. Let's just jump ship to here. Well, you don't know that dude's plan or that woman's plan for your child. You going home and you at these dinner tables eating dinner with your kid and you mad at them because they didn't do well that game, or you're saying like your team sucks. Like, you putting it into their brain, like, oh, you need to shoot the ball more.
So Cam, you've mentioned that a couple of times as far as the conversations, right? At the dinner table, the car ride home, all of these things. Kind of go in depth, man, and explain what that does, or how that can affect what the coach is trying to do and the team chemistry and all that good stuff.
Yeah, man, if you're trying to find a way on the floor, and let's say you just all of a sudden became the defensive stopper for that high school, and like you're the defensive dude, and like, but you're getting playing time. But your parents are telling you need to shoot the ball more. Like, you should be the man out there because you're competing maybe with this kid who you grew up with. And maybe in middle school, elementary school, y'all was on the same level. But now this kid is here and you're there.
Mm-hmm.
But the parent want y'all, hey, they grew up together. This and that. So they need to be on the same level. And you start getting that in your brain. So now you taking 5 unnecessary shots and you're trying to figure out why you're on the bench.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was a defensive stopper, but coach, okay, well, if you get a steal and a layup or on the fast break, but we're in the flow of our offense. I just didn't put you out there to get shots.
Right.
I mean, it's a lot of NBA guys who were great scorers. That didn't get them in the NBA. People think Pat Beverly is a bum. Pat Beverly will bust a lot of cats. But I'm in the NBA. I figured I got to play defense.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my meal ticket. But parents they want to see the sexiness. My kid gotta be on a Wheaties box, or he need to be in a being a what's called a commercial or, you know, all this other stuff like this. And it's a lot to do with social media because everybody's trying to get the fastest way to make it.
Right.
And it's a lot of people, like I've said it and I keep on saying it. It's a lot of parents who live in their dreams through their kids.
Yes.
It'd be funny to me, man. I got some kids come through the gym with me and be telling me, man, my dad was about to play in the NBA. I'm like, for real? And then he'd be like, yeah, he had a knee injury. That's what he told me. Yeah, okay. Dad was probably a great high school player. You know, he might not have played in college. I get it. He giving you the story, but now he pushing that dream on you.
Yeah.
And some of these kids don't want to play basketball. They just do it because their parents want them to.
Right.
Yep.
I think a lot of parents don't teach their kids about their role on the team. And like you said, with Pat Beverly playing defense, you know, your kid might get played, stay on the floor playing good defense, and ain't asked to score a whole bunch of points. But I think some parents don't agree with that philosophy, because they want their kid to be on the floor, but they want him to score 20. Well, if he's not capable of scoring 20, he can't do it.
And let's talk about roles and how roles are defined, assigned, and playing your part. And because you're you're identified for a specific role this year, right? Doesn't mean next year you're going to be in that same role again. But based on what you're giving to the team and what your skill set is, this is where you can best be utilized to help the team. But it's not a sexy role. I think parents also get caught up and handlers and everybody else get caught up in that as well. Or they hating on you. They ain't letting you eat. They ain't letting you do this because the role that they have you assigned playing isn't a glamorous role.
I mean, man, you got, and we say the parents too, but you got to think about, like you hit it on the head. The handlers, some of the AAU coaches going to the game and other stuff like that. It's just anybody putting stuff in your ear because a parent, like a lot of these single moms out here, you know, they got their kid on the team and they go to the game and they don't really know what's going on, or maybe they do. I'm just putting it out here. So
right.
Y'all single moms, don't start beating me up. I'm just using y'all as an example, some of y'all. And I love everything y'all doing for us. They could have an AAU coach or a handler or just anybody in there talking in their ear like, hey, man, like, I don't like this program. Look how they doing your son. And that starts putting that in their mind.
Right.
So then they're going to the games looking, and they didn't have a problem before that, but now all of a sudden they do. Because, you know, you can't have a kid on your there's no way possibly in my generation, if I was playing with a kid who was going to Syracuse or Georgetown, like I played with Mike Maddox going to Georgia Tech. We knew on my AAU program, I had Matt Harper and Sharif, everybody. Mike Maddox was the man going into my senior year on our AAU team. We knew to give Mike Maddox the ball, you know, like crunch time or give him the ball because that's going to help all of us. And he didn't make the NBA, but Sharif was a year younger than us. Sharif was on the team, Matt Harper, but we knew Mike Maddox, that was our bread and butter. Right. Now, in this generation, this day and age, they could have a bread and butter on their team and they know that's what they should get the ball to. Shoot, they trying their best not to give them the ball. They throwing that thing up. And let a big time coach come in the gym. Like watching this kid right here. Even on my team.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get mine. I'm trying to go to Syracuse, Georgetown, or North Carolina, Duke. Not understanding that, dude. What you don't know is if you got a Power 5 dude and all these coaches are coming in and you look good and you play well, one of them coaches is going to reach out to somebody else they know and say, hey, I saw somebody here that could fit your program.
Yeah, but they got to play the right way.
Yeah, don't play out of your game or do nothing crazy because the coaches can see that too.
Yep.
But everybody wants to be in the paper. Everybody wants to be on Twitter. It's half the time I'm looking at these Twitter things, man, and kid, he had 25 this game, this and that. I don't know if his team won or lost. Just he had 25. And they retweeting the heck out of it, you know. Or coach, look at this film.
But Cam, I tell you this, even with that, they are still, if they win the state championship, everybody gonna be in the paper.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody gonna be in the paper in front of that trophy.
Yeah.
Everybody gonna on that team 1 through 12 or 15 gonna get that same ring.
And what do coaches want at the end of the day? Besides a good player, though, do they want a winner or they want to lose?
Oh,
They want
They want to win. They want somebody to know how to win.
Yeah.
But we're not teaching that. We're not talking about that. We talking about my kid. Man, like parents are fighting in gymnasiums now.
Yeah, man.
How do we get to this point, Ken?
Beating up the referees because this right here. Social media, man. Everybody looking for the next best thing because we didn't have that. I know when I was coming out, we didn't have social media. We had the newspaper and word of mouth.
Right.
People came to your game from word of mouth. They didn't come off of any social media. Like LeBron's son, you would think he's like 110 and zip right now in the live periods, but his record's the other way. But they're changing the narrative.
Yeah.
And then we can even go a step further with everybody changing the narrative and everything. Hey, man, it's a two-step with this one. I love all my college coaches. Love all y'all because that's a hard job to have. But see, it's a two-part process that people don't understand with a college coach. One is this. A lot of y'all calling these coaches or y'all talking to these coaches and y'all selling dreams to some of these coaches. So it has gotten so bad that some of these coaches don't trust their own eyes no more because so many people done sold them dreams or they just don't trust their eyes, period, that they're real quiet right now and they're just looking. So, okay, 7 teams in my conference offered. I got an offer now too. They might not even seen the kid play. Don't even know if he can fit into their offense. And then number 2, parents do not understand just their livelihood. College coach ain't doing this for free.
Right.
This is their livelihood. Like,
right.
If your livelihood depends on 17 to 24-year-olds, you got to be real careful in what you pick and what you choose. Parents don't see that. They just say, hey, I think my kid is good enough for your program. You never even seen him play. I know he can play for y'all, though. How do you know that? You've been to a practice? You've been to a game? Like, yeah, Street Smith, definitely. You seen us? No, well, my kid, he might not play Power 5, but he can play mid or low level D1. You don't know that,
right?
Like when I go to some of these events and I go to some of these combines and everything else, like these showcases. Man, there's so many kids who don't even have the fundamental part of basketball down. Like I'm like, hey, show me a pump fake, and these kids go from their groin section to their belly button and back. How you getting somebody off the floor like that?
Yeah.
Oof.
Do you know the game? But parents are still like, well, somebody back in 1986 said my baby was good enough. It's 2021 now. Is he really good enough?
Hey, Cam, a lot of that is because daddy or cousin or brother went 26-0 from 5 and 6-year-old all the way up into 11 and 12-year-old through rec ball.
Yeah, and you still living through that rec ball and everything, thinking they're still good. But shoot, everybody matures at different times, and you got a kid you might have been laughing at, and then all of a sudden he comes back a couple summers later and he's like 6'8" and doing stuff you've never seen before from him.
Yeah, but
then parents and handlers and everybody else, then they're like, man, he still ain't good. Yes, he is. But we're killing the game, man, because everything's about us and who it is with them. And even when I was coaching, and I know a lot of coaches like Black, Huff, a lot of coaches here in the Georgia area, all the way down there where y'all at, Wasey. Like the good thing about Georgia is it's a lot of brotherhood, and it's a lot of dudes who helping other players because a college coach may come through and I may not have it, but I'm going to send you over here to this guy or call this guy or call this guy because it's what it's about. It's us helping these kids. But then there's some others who they don't want to help anybody.
Hey, so Cam, you know, we getting it off our chest now. So I'm gonna keep it a G. Everybody ain't in that brotherhood. Everybody ain't in that brotherhood. Some have a special talk for Metro Atlanta only.
That's true too. I totally agree with you, KP. I totally agree with you.
Some that okay, this team is bubbling now, so now I can go over here a little bit because now they bubbling, so I can kind of jump on this bandwagon a little bit. So we've been down this road before where everybody don't get the same love, bro.
Hey, and you know, I'm gonna hate to put this out here, but you know, me and Darren talked at Grovetown.
Mm-hmm.
And after we had this last podcast, Darren called me and was like, yo, everything you were saying about everybody trying to be your friend when you got people, it's so true, dog. He said, man, I'm trying to stay grounded. But he said, man, it's funny when I was clawing my way to the top, when I really ain't have nothing, I'm emailing these same coaches and calling, they ain't answering. And now all of a sudden they hit me back like, hey, when can we go to do lunch? Or what this kid got going on? Or what's your schedule this fall look like?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're right. It's a lot. And you know what, KP, is even funnier because people don't understand the Metro Atlanta area is even dirtier. Like you got cats who will like say great stuff about you on Twitter and shake your hand. But as soon as they don't see you no more, woo, boy, they bashing you, they throwing you to the wolves.
It ain't just up there.
Yeah, oh, I know, but listen, oh yeah, because hey, Tat, I done had a couple dudes in Macon hate on me. But I'm like, hey, you know, the narrative changes when you think you know somebody. But dog, a lot of y'all ain't been in rooms to even talk to me to get to know me.
Right.
Like, know me first.
Yeah.
And you can criticize my coaching, you can criticize some of my drills, you can criticize all that. One thing you can't criticize if you know me is my love for this game and my love of helping kids out.
Yep.
But a lot of y'all don't see that. Y'all just see this like, hey, that dude, I don't like him. Why don't you like him? Because a lot of cats you know, a lot of places, a lot of cats don't like Wasey. Why you don't like Wasey? Because the son in Florida, his son's good and he did it the right way for his kid. But if you sat down and talked to Wasey, because before I even knew him, I remember his son being at the event with Black when he was in the 6th grade. Man, the shirt didn't even fit him, man. He had a dress on. I was like, whoa, who is this kid? That's his dad over there. So I couldn't get over to talk to him. But 7th grade came back, got to talk to Wasey a little bit. 8th grade came back, got to talk to him. Started following Wasey and started seeing. I'm like, man, this dude really cares about basketball and all. Right. And he's one of those guys who are trying to do the right thing for the Macon area and down South Georgia. You know, because y'all don't get enough credit for that. Because it's the Atlanta thing and it's sexy to be in Atlanta. Well, I get all that. But like I said before, you know, in the early 90s, the sexy place to be was Albany. Mm-hmm. But Albany didn't hate on Atlanta, but coaches flew in to either Florida, Jacksonville, and drove to Albany, or they flew in private into Albany and went to go see the D'Antonio Winfields, the Melvin Drakes, the Mike Spurls, the Quint Petersons. Like we can go on and on and on what was going on in Albany. But then them coaches ventured out to us, and we cool with it. Hey, thanks, Drake and all them. You know, I went to school with Drake. Thank you guys for doing that because that opened a platform for everybody. But now it's like if we flying into Atlanta, like you got to stay in Atlanta. And there are a lot of great Atlanta kids. Right. There are a lot of great kids in Valdosta. There are a lot of great kids in Macon. There are a lot of great kids in Columbus. Shoot, hey, right now, Forsyth County up here. I'm like, woo, they got some pieces up here. Yeah. So a coach can go anywhere in Georgia.
And that's the thing, Cam. But you got some folks, right? And we're not going to dwell on the negative. But I think it needs to be said. Some folks paint a different narrative, right? That the only talent is in, right? So then when you do come up there, you do have some outlets that portray things different than what it really is. And I'm just saying that's a foul across the board. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I mean, it should be open. I mean, but you know, like once again, a lot of guys got biases, and that's what I be trying to tell parents and kids too. Like, why are you worrying about a ranking from somebody who's doing a ranking? That's their opinion. Like, I could care less because I might be number 50 in this guy's ranking, and I might be number 5 in this dude ranking. But then I'm trying to figure out who cares? Just play.
Right.
Just like, you know, Summertime, you got coaches tweeting their record. Okay, so you 16-2 in June. I love it. But then I look at your record come February, and you was 2-16 and 7th in your region. What does that got to do anything? Like,
Yeah. I seen somebody tweet an inter squad game and gave stats.
Yeah.
social media, man. Like it's crazy. That's why I'm like,
Yeah.
why even and you know, why even keep scores? Like, just let these kids play and get down. Yeah, like Black says.
Yeah.
And we talking about Black here, who his first year, boy, I love to sit down with Black one night and just talk to him about his first year. He was like 2-16 at St. Anne. Like, to hear probably the parents behind him and yelling at everybody else, like, why do we hire this guy and everything else like that. And he constantly built, and them kids stayed around.
Right.
But see, that's what you don't. But see, I can commend y'all outside of Atlanta, because a lot of those kids stay, you know, and they stay loyal. Up here, man, you got 0-22. Dang, Black, yeah, you getting your ass whooped.
They made $0.
Yeah, hey, the kids, they be all over. You know, you can't even figure it out. Like, kids doing commitment videos from being a sophomore to a junior, they're going to school up here. I'm like,
is that the high school portal?
yeah. Just like to thank my family and friends. I'm blessed. I'm going to such high school. Like, what?
Speaking of that, you got a couple offers, didn't you?
Yeah. I was at Burger King, man. I talked to I got a Whopper and everything, man. And then Chicago Pizza down here. The next day, they came and talked to me. They gave me some mozzarella sticks, dog. Blessed to receive mozzarella sticks for free.
You sound like me, boy.
Yeah. Tat, we go out to eat now, dog.
You got a free upside.
Oh yeah. I was blessed to receive my first offer from.
You got to put a hashtag AGTG.
Yeah, you know it.
Okay. See, but like, it's so much of that, man, because we all battling for the same thing, man. But like, what I say is to these parents and everybody, like, no matter where the degree is from, a degree is a degree. Nobody can take that from you. Like, you're more liable to be great at something than chasing the NBA dream and chasing my kid needs to be this or these trainers. Like, man, it's crazy. Like you said it, KP. Like, where is this coming from, Cam? And purposely, man, I didn't go to a lot of gyms in June. Purposely, man, because I'm just tired of that situation. I hate the overall look of basketball. Like, when I sit back and look at it, man, like I like to people watch. So I'll go into a gym and be like on the back over here somewhere and just look at everybody and see what's going on. You see the sidebar conversations, folks trying to get attention to coaches, college coaches. They're talking to the high school coaches. Then they go on to talk to other high school coaches. Like, you got folks who are up here at the GHSA camps. Their kid playing on one team, but they watching another team play to try and see how well their kid might fit in there. And then we got kids going to other programs and wondering why they're not the man, but you're a sophomore. Like, why are you worried about being the man and parents complaining when it's their third school they transferred to?
Well, and so let's just throw this out here too, then, right? So how much does AAU ball play into that? Right. So I'm out here on AAU ball. I'm out here getting whatever. Right. I'm playing 15U, 16U. I'm averaging 20-something points a game. And so I should be doing that same thing in high school, but you're not playing me right to do that. Right. So I think that plays a part as well.
Well, let me tell you this, and I'm gonna go back to this. A while back, AAU coaches and high school coaches had a great relationship. They had a great relationship. Like, they knew, and they also entrusted, and they talked. You know, because my AAU director, Al Outlaw, and my high school coach, Rusty Hudson, they had a great relationship. And they talked, and he knew, hey, in those AAU months, they're in great hands. And Outlaw knew in the high school season, they're in great hands.
Right.
Now we don't. You got some coaches who are, you know, jumping the bell with the AAU programs just to help funnel players into their program.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got some AAU coaches aren't dealing with this certain coach because maybe the way they played their kid years ago. So now it's all over the place. And now if I go to a game as a high school coach and don't like what's going on with the AAU program, I may say something to the parents, and vice versa. I may be an AAU program and go to the game and see something I don't like. I'm saying something to the parents about the high school program. Instead of us all working together for one simple goal, and that is to help this young man or young lady get into school.
Right.
That's the end goal, because you can't be an AAU director, AAU coach all your life. So when you go away, who's going to take over your program? Probably some of the kids you coached. And what are life lessons they're learning from you as a coach and that program to be able to get better in life? And it's not a lot of that, because guess what? Go back to it. Everybody wants to win at all costs. Don't care what happens.
100%. I think we have some AAU directors out here that's all that matters to them is the winning, so they can post the pictures or whatever the case may be. And again, it's nothing wrong with being competitive. There's nothing wrong with winning, but understanding that I think being an AAU director is a special calling, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to have the kid's best interest in heart that you're trying to help. And when you lose sight of that and it all becomes about winning, and let me get any kid I can to come over here and help me win, if they've been rocking with you for the whole summer, or we got you in for this tournament and now this is what it's about to be, that's where things to me kind of fall apart at.
And see, now too, AAU has generated so much money that people don't really talk about.
Yes.
And it's like everybody wants to be on the circuit. Like everybody wants to be on the EYBL or the Under Armour or the Adidas circuit.
Yep.
But man, you don't know how hard it is to keep that deal. Because a lot of people think, hey, 14, 15, 16, and then they got a 17U team, right?
Mm-hmm.
Really, the money goes towards the 17U.
Right.
16s, 15s, and 14s, you got to show we're winning, and you got to show talent at that lower level. So Nike, so they keep on giving you money. You can't win Peach Jam and the EYBL team with the 17s, and your 16s, 15s both went 0-15, because then they're like, hey, you got to find more talent, because if that goes on next year, we yanking your deal.
Right.
But now, once again, some of these EYBL teams are playing teams like y'all or whoever else there, and they might see one or two of your kids.
Oh, yeah.
And guess what happens?
They're coming with their front gear.
A backdoor conversation with a parent.
Yeah.
And they're telling them all the stuff they can do for them. And then secondly, like, it's so many directors out here that I get it. You want all your kids to go to school. But when a coach is calling you about somebody else, give your opinion on that kid. Don't hate on them, and don't try and throw somebody else to your, from your program to their program. Yeah, and that's a great point. But everybody won't go to the AAU tournaments no more, the national tournaments, because it's all money. So if a Reebok, not even Reebok, but an Under Armour, a Nike, and Adidas team go to the AAU national tournament, and none of them three win it, how do they look when they're supposed to be like the three best programs? That's why that'll never happen again. Not the AAU Nationals. Now, I'd love to see it. I've always said what I would love to see is at the 15, 16, 17, invite all them circuit teams, and then you pick out 6 or 7 or 8 non-shoe teams, have them go to Vegas and play. Like, it might be 2 Nike teams playing each other in the Sweet 16, or it could be a Nike and an Under Armour team, and let's see who wins it all. Let's see who can coach. Let's see who can do what they got to do.
I think Sean is putting together a great event in August with all independent teams. I think that was a good deal that he came up with and that he's putting together for, I think it's 32 independent teams, and they can let them go at it.
I'm be front row.
Yeah, that's a great idea, man. And he put it together, and we looking forward to playing it. So
yeah, and hey, let the best man win, but that's iron sharpens iron, man.
Right.
We ain't gotta duck from the smoke, like they say. Don't duck from it. I want to get better, so let me go towards what's going on.
And that's part of the process you can't skip.
Well, one thing that we always preach to each one of our groups, all the way down to the 5th grade kids is, as long as you playing hard, it don't matter what the score is. We want you to learn to compete. Yes, we want to win. Yes, we don't want to lose. But if we lose, as long as you played hard, that's all that matters. You live to fight another day.
Yeah, let me ask y'all this. How many parents have came to y'all and didn't like the way you challenging their kids and left y'all program?
I think out of all this time, I think I had probably 2.
I've had a couple.
I think I've had 2 or 3. I would say 3.
I've had a couple, and it was more of the role piece, right? Like not yet, right? Like we're building to that. So lock in with us, and we're going to get to that point. But right now, this is what we need. We don't need him to do X, Y, and Z. We need him to do, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And for whatever reason, it's some blowback or even when you try to tell somebody like, hey, you need to get in shape, or you're not here, you're not there, all of those things. People don't receive that feedback well. And I get it, it's your child, right? So, and you think, hey, no, he's ready to do this and he can do that. And then Rec, he did this and what we doing. And I also get it. Yeah, it's money tied to it, right? It's money tied to it. So I get all of that. But at the end of the day, I got to make the best decisions for what the team is doing, right?
But
and practice is where you're gonna get better. Sometimes practice is where you're gonna get better, and you don't even know. You see what I mean? Because we have close practices. We don't allow the parents in practice for that very reason. So we have that, and it's practice is where they're getting better. Practice is where getting those reps, but they're getting corrected, and all of those things are happening. Sometimes it don't roll over to the game. I got you. We're gonna try our best to make it so, but sometimes it don't happen. So, yeah, that's the role piece for me. I compare it to having to understand the role piece.
I haven't had it yet. I haven't ran into it yet. I had some kids leave. They didn't expound on why they left, but hey man, like I said, ain't one person stopping this show. It's not this train. We're gonna keep it moving.
Yeah, but like you getting them ready for a role, like because they gotta get ready for a role in college, and they also gotta get ready to like be coached hard.
And Cam, for us, for me and Charles specifically, they got to get ready for a role in middle and high school. Right?
Yeah,
So we kind of started over a couple times. So yeah, we got some kids that's going to middle school, and we got some kids that's going to high school. You got to get ready for those roles.
Mm-hmm.
So
and
I think,
you're not even buying into that process.
I think we have. I think Coach Tech had to go off to him, and he does a good job in teaching kids to be a basketball player and competing, right? Because you can't, your role may differ. Your coach may ask you to do different things. But if you understand the game and you know how to be a basketball player and you know how to compete, you're going to be fine wherever you go. Mm-hmm. Wherever you go, you're going to be fine. If you can do those two things, you understand the game and you compete at a high level. Be a basketball player. So, and having an impact on the game is more important than scoring. It might not be your night, but you for damn sure can find a way to have an impact on the game, whether it's defense, whether it's, cheering your team, whatever it looks like for that night.
Don't be one-dimensional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember talking to Coach Rico.
Yeah,
and he kind of told us that. He was like, hey, man, I don't really recruit just kids that can just shoot, and that's the only thing they do. Because what happens when they're off that night? What else are they contributing to the team?
Yeah. I mean, you got it. Because like you said, one night you might not be scoring, but what are you going to do to help your team?
What else are you going to do? Yeah.
You're gonna rebound. You're gonna say, "Hey, I'm gonna lock this dude down right now."
Yeah.
I mean, like, what are you gonna do? And a lot of people don't want to fit into those roles. Like, guys got major deals in the NBA being a role player. Like,
Major deals.
Yeah, and look how it is now. Like, all these dudes getting this payday. What are they doing? They're two-dimensional dudes. They're able to catch and shoot, space the floor, like 3D dudes. That's what the NBA is starting to look for.
PJ Tucker.
Right.
Best corner 3 shooter in the game.
And he gonna go play some hard-nosed defense.
And he go, yep.
He's not gonna do anything to lose the game. Not anything crazy. He ain't
right.
Like, I'm gonna get some rebounds. I get some layups. I'm gonna hit the corner 3. Like, if I'm open at the top of the key, I might not shoot it. I might, but I make smart decisions.
Right.
But nobody wants to see that.
So what do you say when people say at this level that's not going to get my kid recruited? Because I do believe people have a false understanding of what is going to get their kid recruited, and if they're not putting the ball in the basket, oh, we're not going to get recruited here, so I got to go somewhere else that's going to showcase or give you the opportunity to put the ball in the basket.
Man,
I guess, and more so understanding that a college coach understands the game of basketball. You know what I mean? The college coach understands all parts of the game, so they know if a kid can fit into their system or not. But because this kid isn't filling it up or averaging a certain amount of points, so what kind of advice could you give those folks, Ken?
I mean, it can happen because you might have an off day, and the coach may be looking to see what else you might do. I mean, you might not shoot the ball well that day, but maybe you got some great assists. Maybe you got some good rebounds. Maybe you're talking, commanding everybody out there on the floor. Like, because every program ain't looking for somebody to come in right away, day one, to average 25. Because we know some females and males, they're not built body-wise ready to play at the next level. So, okay, I'm looking at him. I see in about a year or two, he can really help our program. We put some weight on him. You know, he gets to see our system, how we play, and then you can still get recruited. But I can also say this, though. They looking at, you know, your grades and everything else, because these coaches, they call a lot of people too, because it's an investment in their program and in you. So you got to, you know, the character flaws, who you're hanging around with. Like, they look at a lot of them things, man, that people don't see or don't understand. They're just thinking, hey, it's basketball. But they're asking those teachers, like, how was he in class? How is he as a person? Do you think he can do this? You know, what do you want to major in or whatever? They're asking other stuff.
So what's go ahead, Ted.
No, I was just saying, I ask the parents that stuff. Like, when they come, if they come to me and start talking about this, that, and the other, I ask them, has he taken the SAT yet? Has he taken the ACT? What's his weighted GPA?
Yeah.
Not his unweighted, but what is his weighted GPA? You know, and you might get an answer here, there, or well, he hasn't took it yet, but he's a senior. But he hasn't taken it yet. I think we need to be trying to focus on that part right now versus everything else. You know what we're talking about. Let's focus on getting that part first. That's step one, because the steps you're talking about, he ain't gonna get to them. He ain't gonna get to that step if we don't clear these first.
Right.
But that's a lot of conversation a lot of parents don't want to have.
Oh, that ain't the part, because that kid can do no wrong, but they don't have the grades. They always getting in trouble in school, all of these things, but it's everybody else's fault.
Right. Holding them accountable.
Yeah.
There we go. And it ain't always, it's not always the coach or the trainer or the AAU coach. It's not always they hating on my baby. They're with them. And a lot, the high school coach and the AAU coach, they're with your kid more than you are sometimes. They know their character and they've seen him, and they're just trying to let you know, like, we can clean up that type of stuff, but we all got to hold that person accountable, like all of us.
If anything, an AAU coach or a coach and that is going to see the more real side of your kid than you probably will.
Yeah. Hey, Johnny White at Douglas County says it, man. I spend more time with your kids than you do in the course of 6 or 7 months.
Mm-hmm.
But now on the flip,
and those coaches also see them in more adverse situations as well.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm gonna say this, man. So, and this may be a little bit off topic, but tell you kind of irk my nerves, man. So you got this parent, you know, the high school team or AAU team is playing. The parent rarely picked the kid up, ain't did no all season, but got more stuff to say about the coaching than anybody on there. Like, bruh, lady, whoever, please just sit down and be quiet. Like you ain't did nothing to help your child.
Well,
but you got more stuff to say than anybody.
Because that's when it started embarrassing them.
Mm-hmm.
It's that when it started embarrassing them, that's when they have more to say. Because now people starting to look at them like, oh, well, your kid really isn't that good the way you say he was. You know what I'm saying? So now they're looking bad. Now they're gonna start. Well, it ain't my kid, it's the coach. Well, he's not playing him. Oh, he's supposed to be out there shooting threes, and they got him down there on the box, and you know that type of stuff. I mean, it for real. And when it start looking bad on them, then it's somebody else's fault.
Hey, but then too, though, you know, I think they should put this out as a rule, even the GHSA and everybody, like at schools and everything. If you got a problem with a coach right after the game, you shouldn't be allowed to meet them walking towards the locker room or sitting outside waiting after the game.
Nope.
Give it 24 hours.
At least.
And think about it, because you could also say something to ruin the chances for your kid. Because we all know it too. You know, a lot of times people look at it and they're saying they're not going to take it out on your kid, but they can't take it out on you. So who gets the bad part about it? You, because I've seen it. Multiple parents like walk on the court as the coach is walking towards the locker room and stop him and start going off. And you're doing my baby wrong and all this other stuff like this. And then the kid may sit on the bench the next 2 games.
Or you got a spotlight now, because the next time we get in practice, everything that your parents said you could do, I'm putting it to the test. And when you fail, or you don't meet that expectation,
KP, the best defender on them.
Yeah.
You gonna have to, you say he can do that, they gonna put the best defender on him. He gonna have to guard the shiftiest, best ball handler. All right, show me what you're working with. You say you like that.
You said this what y'all wanted, but then practice, and it does. I'll be 100%. It does become unfair on the kid.
It does.
They can't.
They said you was ready for this, but this what your daddy's saying that you're ready for.
That's again when it start looking bad on their end, then that's when they want to make those assumptions. That's when they want to stop coaching and talk to them.
Hey, and I got one other thing. Like, I get it's your kid and you're a coach, but I think after like 12U, I think somebody else needs to have their hands on them so they can get used to hearing different voices and seeing something different. And then also the parents of these programs won't be like, that's daddy ball. Because I hear that a lot too. Like, man, with this program, it's daddy ball. Because you're not always going to be able to be there and hold your kid's hand and make them look good in situations. You got to let somebody else have their hands on them. Like, just point blank. I mean, I would love to coach my son all the way to college. But then I'm kind of putting a crutch in his game because he's always going to be looking for me. And this is how my daddy coached me.
Mm-hmm. Go through some adversity.
Yeah. And also here.
Go prove yourself.
Yeah, but also kids a lot of times too, you as their parent, you're trying to coach them when they get a little older. They be looking at you like, man, you don't know what you're talking about. They get mad at you. But when another coach is saying the same thing, it's like, okay, they were right. My dad was right or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then also, like I said, with these coaches, like you need 24 hours. You also should take a couple hours away from your kid too when y'all riding home. Whether they play good or play bad, like don't kill them in the car.
Yep.
tell them I love watching you play and go eat dinner with them. And hey, when we get in this parking lot, like it's father son. I'm not gonna criticize you about your game. We're gonna go in here eat. We're gonna watch a movie. We're gonna laugh. And like tomorrow, if you want some pointers, or I'll just tell you a couple things I may have seen that we could correct, but I'm not going. We're not doing it right now. Yeah. That happens a lot too at dinner tables. So these kids lose their love for the game.
And so I'll be the first to admit I had to learn that, right? Because in that car ride after the game, I'm pointing out everything that you didn't do versus what you did well, right? And I think, and Charles, me and you've had this conversation before. And so I go back and watch a video of the game, and I'm like, oh man, you played better, not than I realized, but in the heat of the moment, yeah, you played better than what I realized on other basketball plays besides the mistakes that you had. Mm-hmm. Right? Because it is that shorter leash, so to speak, for your own, because you should know better.
I'll say this, man. So for me, I haven't had a car talk with my son Malik in years, right? Mm-hmm. So it's even, and I told Tat and Kenny this, like June was amazing for me. So my son is a rising freshman, so I got to sit back and just watch him get coached up, watch the coach get into him, watch him be put in situations for him to have an impact. And we ain't talk about. There's small things I seen. There's big things I seen. There's freshman mistakes I seen. You know how much we talked about it? 0. Now, come August, when we get back in the gym and get some training stuff done, or there's some things we're gonna go over. Yep, there's gonna be some corrections made. Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. But at that time, I wanted him to enjoy being. This is his first time coming here in June. This is his first experience with high school in the summer. Like, soak that up, man. That's you know what I'm saying. Enjoy that.
Learning how to be a supportive parent is a hell of a
So
I'd rather you guys have those talks and be honest with them mm-hmm. and correct it versus giving them false hope, knowing they played bad and telling them, "Oh, well, you did great." I mean, you did great.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing too, right? So so I've learned, right? I've learned how to have conversations, but not immediately after, and not jump down somebody's throat and do all of those things, because at the end of the day, it still is a father-son situation, mm-hmm. right? So you kind of learn. So with Cam, I had to learn. So now Boogie's gonna get it a little different than Cam gets it.
So right? I think it's how you say it too, right? So all right, son, I said after the game, it could be something or something. Son, you had a bad defensive game today. You keep it moving. It ain't gotta be right. You know what I'm saying? It ain't gotta be like ha.
Take it to the 19th level, right? Right. And why didn't you? And this to the
yeah. Right, but that's what I mean. That's what I mean by holding them accountable, being honest with them about their play, and don't give them the false hope and the false information.
Put it in their terms. Hey, bro, you kind of sold today.
So I'll say this, man. So from the years of not having that ride, Malik would come to me and have conversations about the game on his own. He approaches me like, Dad, we should have done. Look, I ain't perfect as a coach. I ain't. I make mistakes. Dad, we should have did this.
We all do.
I mean, or we should have subbed this person out or subbed this one out, or we should have ran this. I appreciate that because he's showing me, all right, bro, you got some IQ. Go back and look at the tape. Like, yeah, we should have ran coattails here, or we should have did this. Like, all right, you got a point.
Yeah, and that's same thing for the coach. Like the coach needs a little bit of time too, because coaches do make mistakes. Like, you got to look at film and figure out what's going on. And hey, maybe I took this dude out. He was making a run, and I took him out too soon, or I went away from him.
Knowing when to take somebody out.
Yeah, I kept him in too long. Like, oh my God, all that was going on.
Now, Tad, I'm with you because if my son go 0 for 16, and he get a backdoor cut for the game when the layup on him, we're not gonna get in the car. And I'm like, hey, loved watching you play with us a bit of words.
Right.
It's gonna be like, we won't talk about it right now. We'll talk about it tomorrow. But it's
You
and correct it.
There'll be some film days. Hey, let's sit down and watch this.
Yeah, let's figure this out.
Yeah. So I mean, I get it. It's just, man, my passion for this game and everything, and y'all too, and everybody who's around it, man. We learned great things through this game of basketball. Life lessons. We met great friends. We love going in gyms and watching it. It's like I just wanted to get back to there for everybody. I want that passion and love for the ones who really around it and love it to have it, including the parents. Y'all have a lot of passion. I do too. But let's stop killing the game because it's going in that direction. Let's bring it back.
And Cam, so that's a perfect segue, bro. And I was going to ask you just to give some advice, right? What can these conversations be? Or how can we kind of have these conversations with our kids to motivate them, right? Show that we still support them without dogging out the coach, dogging out the team, dogging out their teammates, or whatever the case would be. What's just give us some examples of some supportive type conversation.
I mean, just one of the things I said, like, hey, give it a little bit of time and talk to them and show them, like points that they missed on the floor, not just points actually scoring, but defensive points or like using the wrong position at this wrong time, because my dad was one of those parents who was like, so my dad would come to games and he didn't ride with my mom personally. So he would leave and be sitting at the house waiting. So I'd come in there and I might have thought I had the best game. And this man like ripped me a new one where I thought like I was the worst player on the floor. So instead of that, and you don't have to be all lovey-dovey either because it's just the real world. But let's do more teaching points. Let's stop, saying this coach and that coach, he ain't great for you and stay away from this coach and all sorts of stuff like this. Give people these chances, to learn adversity, learn through adversity, learn how to, when you ain't playing, be on the bench cheering your team on, like you jumping up and down, because coaches watch that too. You could be having a bad game and come off the floor and not give a high five to anybody and go sit at the end of the bench and be sulking. Coaches looking at that too. So like a lot of the ones who love it, who love the game, they got some of those characteristics. I mean, everybody hates to lose, but they get over it after a while. But it's like, one, we don't want to face adversity. When it hits us in the mouth, we're ready to give up real quick and run to either the next program, next organization, next high school, because it didn't go my way.
Right.
But how much of life goes your way? Because, I mean, you're going to be hit with stuff in your life, and what are you going to do when you get hit with it?
Yeah. I don't know if you guys seen it or not, but Kara Lawson over at Duke, it's a tweet out that she put out today. I seen it this morning, and she's kind of talking about that same piece, adversity, looking for the easy, right? No, embrace the hard. You know what I mean? Embrace it, because 9 times out of 10, you're going to go through more hard than you're going to go through easy. So embrace it, accept it, and fight through it.
And you're going to come out 10 times better when you do it. Because if you keep on running, man, at some point in your life, you're going to turn around and look and be like, man, I'm 60 years old and what happened? Because I just ran from everything, man. Yeah. Like in a relationship, you're going to have arguments. You're going to have talks. You're going to have disagreements. But are y'all going to just say, bump it, we're done? We don't want to be in this relationship no more because we had a misunderstanding? Right. Or your language is different from my language. Let's just say, forget it. No, what do y'all do? Y'all try and talk about it and come back stronger when you do have those conversations.
Figure it out. Yeah, if it was easy, everybody be doing it.
Yeah, like, man, give a lot of these coaches a chance. Give a lot of these trainers. Give the AAU directors. Give them a chance. Now, if it can't be fixed after a while, then hey, I get it. Like Koisa said a while back on your show, like some of these kids leave for other reasons, and we're just thinking it's just basketball, but they left because maybe they didn't like the campus. Maybe the culture was a little bit different for them. Maybe they was too far away from home. We don't factor that in too, and we also don't factor in the college coaches who are saying, man, you got to leave my program. Yeah. We don't talk about that a lot either.
Yeah. So Cam, on the flip side of what we're talking about, right? And we are definitely saying stick it out, don't make a decision based on a single incident or somebody pushing you to be better. But what happens when you get to that point and you realize, and even at the high school level, I guess, when you realize this ain't the place for me and I'm not getting that fair shot, right? How should that situation even be handled? Not going and cussing the coach out and all this and bad mouthing.
Yep.
Talk about how that situation should.
I'm gonna say don't burn a bridge. Mm-hmm. And you and your parents can sit down with that coach and just tell them, hey, we tried it. We fought through a lot of the stuff with you. We just feel like in order for us and then also your program too, it'd be better we go somewhere else. Right. And I think that coach will respect that a lot and maybe even help you get to like, hey, this is a couple schools I see. Maybe you guys can move in their district or whatever else like this is going on. Like he may be a better coach than I was for your child.
Right.
But instead of not having a conversation with that coach, you know, and then you run somewhere else and you're somewhere else playing, and then you're bad mouthing the coach over here because that's going to get back to him. Because it's so small, the basketball world. Like, hey, this kid. So, and what me I would do is, if it's my child, I'm going to have them go in first with the door closed and talk to the coach. Yeah. And then I'm coming in there too. Then we're all going to sit down. But I want my child to learn how to face it on your own sometimes because I'm not always going to be there.
Right.
And then, you know, because some of the parents don't like coaches who cursing their kid out all the time. Like that might not be the culture we want. And I get all that.
Right.
Because it wasn't many people who could play for Bobby Knight, but the ones who did, he pulled greatness out of those players.
Yeah, buddy.
He did. But I couldn't have played for a coach who was always cursing me out. Like I'm trying to figure out is he gonna put hands on me or not, throwing chairs. Like that wasn't my cup of tea. But I also needed to coach me who did get on me a lot and held me accountable and pushed me a little bit harder. I couldn't play for a lax coach, but then some can. Like a coach who just lets you go, run, do whatever you want to do. They play better than the coach who's, you know, like we're running all these sets. We go here. Like you got to have all those factors into not only what you're looking at high school, but also college.
Yeah.
Like what kind of offense are they running is going to make me be comfortable and look good.
No, 100%. 100%. Hey, we're not gonna stay on forever because tonight is still a work night for some folks. So we
got some food in here.
Yeah, but hey, live period this weekend, man. Give us some advice for these young folks that's gonna be out here playing.
Man, play the game the right way, and do what you do best. If you are a rim runner, run.
Yep.
Finish. Because I see a lot of people missing layups and stuff. Finish. You got to finish. All right. If you're a defensive specialist, lock down. Like my smaller guards, pick up 94 feet. Turn dudes. Be a motivator on the floor, second coach. If you a shooter, knock down shots. Like the game is very simple. So if a coach comes to see you, man, don't get out of your element because in that booklet, it's saying, hey, he's a shooter. You might miss, but, you know, like you got a perfect shot, you're holding your follow through. They're going to say he can shoot it. I'm going to go see another game. Maybe he was off this game.
Right.
But just because you're a shooter, don't take 90 shots and miss all 90. Because you're not going to be able to do that in college. You're not going to be able to miss 90 shots. Like if you're a big, be in the paint. Be a big. Stretch forward, whatever you do. What you do it well. Because if you're a 6 or 7 guy on the AAU program, be the best 6 or 7 guy. Because when you go back to your high school, you may be the number 1 guy. And they're going to see you during your high school season.
Yep.
Like prime example, man. I always use this. Brandon Robinson. Brandon Robinson did major stuff for us at Douglas County. Put the ball on the floor. Sometimes we had him running the point. Sometimes he ran the 2. Sometimes he was a 3. Like shoot it, get to the rim, all sorts of stuff like this. Got with his AAU team. Catch and shoot guy. Boom, 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 boom. Knock down shots in front of Roy Williams and them. They offered him because of, okay, we saw what he did with his high school, but we also see now what he's doing in this AAU with what his role may be in college, and he got that scholarship.
Right.
So you could be the man at your high school, or you can be the man on your AAU team too. But just play the game the right way, man. Have a lot of energy. like have fun while you're out here too, because this is also a time to have fun. Like you're not getting paid right now.
Right.
You're not getting paid. So do not like stress yourself out or kill yourself over one bad game or maybe two bad games, or maybe even this weekend you don't play like you thought you could play. Well, guess what? You got another weekend coming up too.
Yeah.
Ride the wave and the momentum, man. Have fun with this game, man. If you love it like we all love it on this podcast, all that will show, man. Good energy, it shows.
And here's the other piece to that, just to add to that, man. You got the live periods coming up where you'll be able to play. You also have different opportunities that you can go to some of these elite camps. You can go to some of these camps that's being put on to still get your name out there and still be seen. So, don't like Cam said, don't beat yourself up because you didn't have a good showing. There's still an opportunity for you to do some other things and still prove yourself, man. Cam, we're gonna let you get out of here, brother.
I appreciate y'all, man, as always, man.
Yes,
much love for y'all. Anytime, I love being on here, man. Y'all got some great stuff going on. I appreciate y'all letting us get off here early because I was about to get yelled at. But for good reason, though. A good meal has been cooked. So,
go handle that.
Hopefully within the next, with this live period, man, I hope we get up.
Definitely. I'm sure we got to bump into each other somewhere.
Yeah, I'm gonna take y'all to this little breakfast spot if we're able to do brunch one day.
Okay.
We're gonna go in there and kick it. And man, let's put some stuff together, man, because I got some stuff on the decks with some of this HBU stuff, and I like y'all three to be involved with it.
Definitely,
absolutely, man.
We can definitely plan that out and figure it out, man. And anytime you're talking about eating, Charles lock in immediately.
My guy, bro.
We're good to go then, man. So, hey, much love, respect, man. Appreciate y'all.
Yes,
all right,
sir.
brother. We'll see you,
All right.
Later.
Appreciate you, Cam.
Yep.
Hey, good stuff again, man.
Good stuff, man. Good dude. Good stuff, man. Always keep it 100. Always keep it 100.
Good informational stuff, man. I think that's the bigger part of all of this, right? Again, it's all about giving everybody the opportunity to get where you're going to get at whatever level it is, but it's a certain way that you have to go about it, man. So I think that's always good stuff.
I think what's the important thing, if you didn't learn, or what you got out of it,
have some takeaways.
There you go. Some takeaways from it is there's success is going to look different for each player, right? So whatever it is you do well, whatever it is your coach is asking you to do that and be the best at it. That's what your success will look like, whether it's defense, whether it's offense, whether it's facilitating, you know what I'm saying, the communicating,
and
taking charges. Be that guy or gal. Be that. So,
hey, and then one thing, coaches hear everything.
Yeah.
So whatever you understand, thinking you saying to the coach, it's either we either hear it, it's either heard directly from the coach, or it gets back to the coach. Because what you guys sometimes fail to realize, we have family sitting in the stands as well. So everything you think you want to say and yell and all this type of stuff, it all gets back, man.
Yeah.
But we try let's not focus on they going firework crazy over here for some reason on the 5th. I guess they had some extra ones they didn't get rid of.
It rained last night. It got cut. They had an intermission.
Bro, I'm so sick of fireworks, but that's a different story. But yeah, man, just understand we hear it all, man.
Oh, they busting over there.
Yeah,
that's man, like golly,
getting it in.
My poor dog going crazy, bro. Yeah, so
that might be Devin. Must be over there somewhere.
Who?
Devin.
So, Tad, what you got to put on top of that? You sitting on that high school bench, and I'm sure you and Coach Garman go through and things and conversations and all of this type of stuff and second guessing. I'm sure all that happens.
Well, it's always second guessing. They ain't gonna be as good as they once were, and you hear all that. You hear all that talk of, kids gone and now what they gonna do now? They got the coach and they just had talent and all that stuff, man. And we hear that stuff, but we don't. I mean, we do what we do.
Right.
Coach Gorman leads the way. He's gonna continue to lead the way. He's gonna continue to do what he does. And he's done a great job these last 12 years. And ain't nothing gonna change.
No, I can't.
So
Like my boy Puff said, can't stop, won't stop.
nah, man. Coach Gorman gonna keep leading that way, and we're gonna keep following that lead and do what we do.
Yeah, can't stop, won't stop.
I still go down. I still say to this day, he don't get enough credit for what he's done.
Mm-hmm.
From when the first couple of years he started.
So consecutive.
Yeah, I mean, he's been to the state playoffs every single year since 2013-14. Hadn't missed a year. I mean, won the region 8 years in a row. Won the region 8 years in a row. I mean, one state championship, 2 state championship appearances, Final Fours, Sweet 16, Elite Eights. I mean, but he doesn't get don't get me started on that, man. I just see a lot of people get a lot of credit for some of the similar things that he's done. I mean, state coach of the year twice. I mean, he don't get enough credit for the things that he's done and continuously to do with what he has. I say that ain't coached the kid over 6 yet out of 12 years. And to get done what he's got done with what we had, man, please. That joker's working. And he's getting the best out of those kids. And, I just don't think he's mentioned enough, when you talk about some of the top coaches in the state of Georgia.
For sure.
Yes, I think he's one. Yeah, I do.
Y'all put a product every year.
They do.
Every year, regardless of who you got and who you don't got.
So I think it's, man, I look forward to seeing what y'all gonna put on the floor because I really do be amazed. Like, all right, what they gonna do now? Dang, they made that work. What they gonna do now? Dang, he made that work.
Well, but that's because Coach Gorman is probably one of the best that get the kids to know their roles.
Mm-hmm.
And he's big on sacrificing your body, taking charge, and doing all the little things. And that's the stuff that he teaches. And he has a way of getting those kids to buy in to that and play a certain way and play as hard as they can. And I mean, me and his old coach Chip Malone, used to always say all the time, phrase that we still use to this day: just do what you've been coached to do.
That's it.
That's all you ask. Do what you've been coached to do, and the rest will take care of itself.
For sure. For sure. No, that's good stuff, man. And again, shout out to Coach Gorman for holding it down all this time and being consistent.
Yes.
Being consistent.
Year after year after year.
So, but I don't know where Charles went.
Yeah, me either.
Must have went and got something to eat.
Probably so.
But I know I seen some familiar names over here that we ain't seen in a while. So definitely shout out to everybody. Dr. Love, William Maddox,
Coach Moultrie. Coach Moultrie.
Coach Moultrie.
Yes, sir. Hillgrove High School. Coach Black.
Coach Black. Who am I missing? Wait, I said William Maddox, right?
Yeah. Kyle Jameson. Yeah. JB Billingsley.
Yeah. So definitely, man, we appreciate y'all and shout out to y'all for tuning in on this Get It Off Your Chest special Tuesday.
Yeah.
Get It Off Your Chest special Tuesday. Yeah, I don't know where Charles went. Hey, but before we do get out of here, man, we definitely want to touch on some things that's going on in the city of Warner Robins, man, here in the last week or so, week and a half, 2 weeks or so. We've had some young people that have been lost to some violence. Condolences to their families. Senseless type stuff. But young people, we got to do better, man. We got to do better. We got to figure out a way for conflict resolution. We got to figure out a different way. We can't go to drawing weapons. We can't go to that. That's not gangster, man. That's not it. So again, condolences to their families. Praying for the city as a whole. Praying for our young folks that just come up with a different mindset, man. Stop thinking it's only one way to resolve issues, right? Worst case scenario, have a fist fight if it got to get to that. But death is forever, man. And not only does it affect the people that were killed, but it affects the people that were doing the shooting or whatever the case may be. Now, multiple families are affected based on decisions, short-term decisions. So, we got to do better. We got to do better. And it's not a point the finger and place blame on the young people, because we're definitely not going to do that. But we got to figure out collectively as a community, as a whole, how we can do better, right? What can we do to make a situation better? Coach Tad, what you got on that?
Parenting. I think we have to get back to parenting these kids. We got to get back to, and this is my opinion. I think we have to get back to parenting, because how are we gonna fix the situation if you upholding the situation? We can't fix it. Because if we fix it, let's just say if we got something going on in basketball practice. Yeah, we might fix it there at practice. But if you upholding it at home, we can't compete with that.
Right.
Same thing with the community. If we're trying to fix it as a whole in the community, but when he goes back home to that environment and that household upholds it and come and cuss you out because you're trying to correct it, ain't no way to save it. So it's parenting, man. We've got to start holding our kids accountable. We can't continue to let our kids come home and say, hey, Mr. or Mrs. such and such got on me and said this to me, and now you get in the car and you going to cuss the people out for correcting the kid and this, that, and the other. Then when they start growing up and you continue to be their friend, then they start disrespecting you. What are they going to care about? Anybody in the community, what they say to them. If they disrespect you, they're going to disrespect anybody else because you are their parent. And if you allow them to disrespect you, they ain't going to have no respect for nobody else.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. I just think we got to get back to correcting as a whole. We don't correct as a whole anymore. It when I was coming up, it wasn't no problem for if I'm acting a fool down the street and Miss Shirley get on me. I can't go home and tell my mama, Mom, Miss Shirley got on me and said this and that to me. And my mama guess what my mama gonna say? Well, what you do?
Mm-hmm.
She ain't gonna get in the car and go down there and cuss Miss Shirley out because she know her child. But nowadays, say something to one of these kids if you want to. And it's not all of them. It's not all of them. But say something to them if you want to. And watch mom or dad get in the car and come down there. Why you say this? Don't talk. You don't talk to my kid like that. That's wrong. If your kid is wrong, don't uphold him when he's wrong. Because once the police get him, you ain't gonna go down there to that police station and tell them to turn your kid loose.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be too late then. But we've got to start collectively from the parents back into the community. Taking control of these kids, man, because they getting out of hand. They really are getting out of hand, and it's bad things are starting to happen. And it's not just in this community. I mean, it's all over the state.
Right.
But it's when it gets closer and closer to home, then you feel the need to try to express thoughts and stuff like that. But hopefully, we can come together as a community and grab a hold of these kids, and hopefully these parents are look at their child and start holding their kids accountable. If not, we're gonna be in a long state of frustration. I mean, it happens that way in the school system. If they do something in school and they discipline them in school, you got parents that go up to these schools and cuss out the administration.
So I think it's a compounding issue, not just in the state of Georgia, but across the communities in the U.S. Right? I do think it's having a tough conversation, right? So, and how we communicate that tough conversation, because there's a lot of, as Tat's saying, there's a lot that go on in the community, and when we or someone try to have that conversation, it can be seen as a negative, right? But in reality, it's the truth. You just may not want to hear it because a lot of parenting isn't going on, right? A lot of things aren't happening in homes, but you got to have those tough conversations and say, hey, little Shirley or whoever, hey, you got to get it together. Like, your family running wild right now. You out here in the club doing TikTok videos or whatever, and you got a 16-year-old out there running the streets doing whatever it is he want to do.
Mm-hmm.
But we got to have it's going to be a very uncomfortable conversation, right?
I say this, Charles. I say this, and I know a lot. I know a lot of people would say, yeah, they'll be in the clubs and this, that, but can't blame it because parents want to have a good time. Sometimes.
I ain't blaming it.
No.
I ain't blaming it sometime, but every Saturday.
Yeah. I get it going every Saturday. I get that, but those kids know right from wrong.
Well,
They just ain't being held. Let's just and to your point, if a kid does something and somebody correct them and mama come home from the club.
So I'm not saying I use the club as an example, right? So neglect looks different in many ways, whether it's the kid come home, you're not checking their grades, they flunking out of school, right? They come home when they want to come home. They come home 2 a.m. on a school night.
No structure.
There's no structure, right? So I just use the club as an example. Please, I need to have a good time. Go have a good time, whatever that look like for you. I ain't a club guy, but give me a cigar and bourbon. Wait a minute.
It's accountability and structure.
Yeah. So, but I think those are hard conversations because nobody wants to be told that they're a bad parent, right?
And
so that's that tough conversation,
right? And that comes with you trying to discipline that kid, and they come to cuss you out.
Well,
You don't say nothing. Don't say nothing to my child, and don't do this and don't do that. If he's wrong, he's wrong.
Well, I put it on
But,
Facebook.
Huh? You put it on Facebook. Nah,
but think about it. It's similar to what happens even coaching.
I say it all the time. When coaches start coaching these kids not to transfer and not to do this and let them do whatever they want to do so they won't leave and they'll stay, and it hurts them in the long run.
Yeah.
Sports. I think a lot of
at times.
There's a lot of work that needs to be done, right? But I think we have the community to do it, that's willing to put in the work, and you know what I'm saying, and bring some structure and accountability back to these kids' lives. Whether it's because there's basketball programs like ours that will help with that. There's football programs, travel programs. There's soccer. There's, get your kid involved in something. I get it. Parents are going through a lot. Some of these parents are going through a lot, whether it's trying to make ends meet, whether it's trying to do all those things, and maybe you feel like you just ain't got the time, but get your kid involved in something. Now, if you think he's gonna come to this program and cuss us out, he'd be walking a straight line.
That'll be another one that we lost. Be another kid lost out of the program. But I mean, I think people kind of know us well enough that won't happen.
Right.
And I've heard this before. You always discipline, other people's kids, but ain't so bad. I heard that before. AJ, my baby. So he allowed
AJ the truth.
That ain't like, come on.
But AJ know what time it is though. If he get wrong for real.
Right, and here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
So, mine, they act a little crazy sometimes, but they know when that line. Okay, we're at that line, so let's chill out now.
Nah, I act crazy too. I act crazy right along with AJ.
No,
we sit in the eyes and we both act crazy.
It's bro. I ain't even got to say nothing. It's a look or something. I guess there's some look that I do. I ain't even got to say nothing no more. They.
But and what we're saying is we aren't perfect parents either.
Nah, I ain't perfect.
Right? We're not perfect parents, nor are we telling you how to parent your child. We're just saying there's a lot of things going on, and if they're not getting that attention or whatever they need at the home front, they're looking for it in other places.
Well, we saying love on them. Give them some attention. Yeah, love on them. Love on them kids. Let them know you're there for them. Be in it.
Yeah. Like questioning them about what's going on. Be in their business.
Where you going? When you getting back? Yeah. Who you meeting with? What's her name? Yeah, I want to know everything.
Hey, trust me. I was their age one time too, and my mom asked me where you going, what you doing, and I sucked my teeth and I did all of that and rolled my eyes and God, leave me why you ask so many questions. Yeah, I did all of that. But now that I'm a parent, I understand why.
Right.
Yeah.
I understand.
Oh, why. Yeah. So I used to tell my mom. So my mom said, "Where you going?" I'm like, I don't know. I'm just getting away from here. But if you don't know where you're going, you ain't
going nowhere. Yeah. Right. But I mean, a lot of different people have a lot of different ways of parenting their kid, and a lot. I mean, you got parents that has a lot of trust in their kids, and their kids are trustworthy. Like if they go, they know they can leave. They know their kid ain't gonna be doing all the foolish type of stuff because in all, you know your kid.
Yeah.
And so I mean, let's just try to. Do something for this community kids. They need it bad.
I think the takeaway is this, man. Really, really look after. You know what I'm saying? Be aware of where your kids are going. Be aware of those places that are questionable places. Know where they're gonna be at, and have that conversation with them. Like have that conversation with them.
And kids, and if any kids listening, I'm being totally honest here. Do the right thing. if you and your friends are going out and you know your friends are wrong, do the right thing.
Look out for your homies, because if something happened to them and they're no longer here, think about what that feels like.
I believe I went out there.
No, you still there? You was there. Yeah, we are.
That's all I got, man. Y'all just do the right thing, man.
Do the right thing. But like I said, think about the other side of that. If your homies are no longer here and you know you may have been able to help prevent a situation from happening or talking them off that ledge or whatever the case may be, besides having them react. That's a leader. That's somebody that's like, hey, because you genuinely care. If you care about your homie, man, you know what I'm saying? It's okay to have that conversation. If y'all tight like that, it's okay to have that conversation.
I even told the kids the other day. And if you have Charleston White, yeah, he a fool. He is a fool. Charleston White say some of the crazy stuff you ever want to hear. Yes, he does. But if you listen to his message, if you listen to some of his message, he ain't saying nothing wrong. The way he said it, the way he might have said it might be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But if you listen to the guy and listen to his message instead of listening to all the crazy stuff that he's saying, he has a positive message. And man, these kids need to start listening to something else.
Got to, man. Got to.
Yes, sir.
But that's all I got.
Yeah, like I said, man, let's pray for each other. Let's pray for the city, man. Let's try to figure this thing out, man. Shout out to the mayor. I know she was catching some grief or whatever the case may be. This ain't on her, bro. We got to police our own community. This is not on her. So don't let the political stuff, you know what I'm saying, that agenda come into this, because it's bigger than that when we talking about losing young people, man.
It is.
We was losing young people before she got in office.
But here's the other side of it, right? So then when mandates and things and curfews and all this type of stuff start coming down, then it's all everybody tripping.
Yeah.
Right. When we have an opportunity to be able to correct a wrong or right a wrong, as they say, or correct the issue, we run into that, man. So man, we'll get out of that, but definitely, man. Like I said, prayers to those families that's been affected, man.
Yep.
So yeah, we about to get out of here, man. We will not be on Sunday. We'll be playing. I don't know how many of y'all people follow Coach Tad on social media, but I'm sure James Brown meme is going to go up this weekend after 6 games back and forth in Atlanta.
Oh man, yeah. I already got him saved.
Yeah, so y'all said that's some good vibes, man. Coach Charles gonna be ripping and running this weekend. Yes. Starting on Thursday. So we're going Thursday. Yeah, Thursday through Sunday, live period. But this is what you do it for, man. So hopefully, is playing travel ball somewhere. They're playing in the live period. Again, to me, that's why you do it. All right, this is a perk of playing live. Playing travel ball, getting the opportunity to play in front of college coaches. So and like Cam said, play your game, do what you do. Don't do nothing outside of yourself, man. To be the best teammate, the best player that in your role that you can be. Chat, what you got before we get out of here?
Man, just appreciate everybody, all the viewers, man, for tuning in and continue to support, man, and be positive.
Oh yeah, Charles G.
Again, echoing what Coach Tad said, man. Appreciate the viewers, man. Again, man, continue to love on these kids. Let's get this community to a better place. Not just our community, but man, there's a lot going on in the world, man. Be aware of your surroundings. Know what's going on. And like I said, man, cherish every moment. Love on those loved ones like there's no tomorrow. All right. That's all I got.
Definitely, man. So, I echo everything these guys have said, man, and just continue to hold each other down, man, and be accountable. So we'll see you probably the following. No, we probably won't see you the following weekend either. So maybe we'll have another during the week show. We'll see.
I don't like this.
I want to shout out my boy Cubby Lee. What up, boy?
Cubby.
Yeah.
Cubby.
What up, Cubby?
Yeah, maybe we do another hour and a half during the week show somewhere. We'll sneak one.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. Either way, man, we appreciate you guys. Peace.